Hey guys, Corey from Aquariumcoop. Today's another day in the fish room. Well, actually, we're going to start in my living room, but I'm just going to show you projects to come. Well, a project, a big one, I guess. So here's the tank, the custom tank I've been talking about. Here's my living room here. So front to back, it's 32 inches, and then long, it is 77 inches. So it's a little more than 6 feet. And then tall, we've got 21.5 inches. And this is all half-inch acrylic all the way around. So it'll be nice and stout. Even the bottom. We've got black acrylic on the back. That obviously costs extra to use black acrylic there, but it's going to be a show tank in my living room. And then some other features. I had this built by CFI, or World Class Aquariums. It's local here in Seattle, and I've had them do tanks in my store and build customer tanks, things like that, and it seems like you can always come up with something with an answer to my problem. So the first thing that I love, that I didn't know existed until I started working with Jason at CFI, is the feeding hole. And so that's what this is. This is a feeding hole, so I can go and feed. I don't have to lift my tops up. If I put lights on there and everything, I've got a feeding hole. And actually, I'm going to put an auto feeder here, I believe. A nice, Eheim auto feeder feeds food in there. And then I also had holes put in to the top cover panels themselves, so I could feed there as well. The back holes here for filtration, run intakes and outputs and stuff like that, and air lines and anything like that I need to run. And I always have them drilled big enough so I can fit a cord through it, like the actual plug. But let me show you this top. So the top thing was kind of weird because I've got a custom canopy that goes on here, and the holes in the top, and I could show you this outside, but in the top there's like holes with missing pieces of wood. And they're much smaller than these portholes, but I like having big portholes so that it's really easy to get in and put in big pieces of wood and rock and things like that and catch fish. But Jason came up with the design he had done one time before for someone else that kind of had a weird problem where they wanted big holes, but canopy issue again. Well, what he came up with is a two-part system where this part just comes off just like that, and then it's actually, so, he does his tops, I don't know, in my opinion, master craftsman here. But if I can show you, this is a ledge that's been routed in, and so that the tops themselves fit perfectly in that ledge. So if I put this back on here, so you'll never have water, condensation, stuff like that. It's literally, it takes a little bit extra out here so that there's a little wiggle room, so it's not a tight fit, you can't get it in and out. But everything is fit perfect here. And then, so he literally does the same thing on this top to make it two-piece. So this top sits below, and this one comes in and sits right on top of it. So I'm super stoked. And this is Lexan here, which is nice, so if you don't know, the Lexan's not going to bow like acrylic will. Acrylic takes on water. It takes on water and the heat. And Lexan, if it was to take on that, all you gotta do is pick it up, and then if you shake it like this, it'll come back into form. Where acrylic doesn't do that; it bows. So, take that off real quick there, and I'll take this one off as well. But yeah, this is kind of my new toy. I'm building slowly. It's very expensive, and I want to do it right, and I want to bring you guys along for the ride as well. That's a horrible sound on camera. Sorry for that. But yeah, you can kind of see the build quality here is nice, and it should be a fun project. And I'm excited for it. I haven't even taken the paper off. He does some of the things Jason does at CFI instead of what a normal tank manufacturer would do. All these are like sanded and polished and buffed, as opposed to most places with just flame polish, and so all the edges get a perfect edge to it. You know, there's no sharp corners anywhere, and it's all been kind of beveled and polished and whatnot. And so that's just the build quality you get. I mean, he literally is kind of building tanks for movie stars and sports stars and things like that. And I'm lucky to have him locally. I've been at a shop before where he's been working on builds that are $30,000 to $50,000 being shipped out throughout the United States, full automation, that type of thing. So I'm lucky to have him so close. And so yeah, if you ever need a custom tank, I recommend contacting World Class Aquariums. If you're local to me, it's actually cheaper for you to go through me than it is through him. He wants stores like myself to kind of filter out people that are like, well, how much would this tank cost? Because the reality is expensive. Custom is always more expensive than, you know, a 300-gallon glass tank is free compared to something custom like this. You know, you're going, well, it's still an expensive tank. It is. I'm not saying it's not expensive, but custom is always more expensive, and quite a bit so. So anyway, I don't even think I mentioned how big this tank is. So I told you the dimensions, but it's 230 gallons is what it'll actually hold. And, you know, so you might be thinking, what am I going to do in here? I actually have no idea yet. We've been playing around with my wife and I have been playing around with some ideas. We've thought mini musk turtles that I've got out in the shop. We've thought mud skippers. We've thought goldfish. We've thought koi that transfer out to the koi pond once they get a little too large in here. We've thought guppy tank. I love guppies. We've thought, what else have we thought? Kind of clown loaches and stuff like that. We've kind of always done that in the living room. So I don't know if we're going to go back to something like that. I thought about an oddball tank. Like, I kind of miss keeping rope fish and black ghost knives and things like that. And so I literally don't know where I'm taking this tank yet in terms of fish. I just know that for the most part, setup is all the same, you know, filtration and things like that. I mean, there's some stuff I can change. I could do a full planet tank, but I'm looking for something low maintenance, and this is going to be kind of the one fish tank in the house. And I don't necessarily want, I mean, I don't have a lot of water change, so I don't want crazy loads. That's where I'm like, oh, koi, but I love koi, I love goldfish, I love bigger fish, that type of thing, and that's why I can have a bigger tank. And I already have the 340 gallon at the store filled with guppies, but man, I could totally go for another one, you know. I just love live bears that much. But anyway, we're going to start working in the shop, or not the shop, the fish house, home, whatever it is, the other building, fish room, I guess. It's only a room at the moment. Well, it's a couple rooms, but I'll show off a little bit of artwork, I guess, before we go out there. You know, so this is something I picked up at local Greater Seattle Aquarium Society. We kind of like it. It's going to have to move because the tank itself is going to sit too high, but just a clown loach painted on reverse glass. Same artist did this Scarlet Batis, which unfortunately there's like a glare. Let's see if I can get rid of that glare. All my windows and stuff are creating glares here, but it's Scarlet Batis painted on reverse glass. And then if you want to see, you know, some kind of funny, or I think it's funny. That's me at a very young age. If I can get it to focus in, oh geez. But me and my little Superman pajamas, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I don't think I have much else to show in here. I'm trying to think if I have anything else in the house. Not really. It's not that fishy in here. Oh, that's a total lie, actually. There's fish stuff everywhere. I mean, I have a carpet. I think I've showed the carpet before. That's all got fish on it and stuff. Dog bed, obviously. But yeah, so out to the fish room, and I'll show you what I'm going to do out there. So I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, well, walked out to the fish room. Here I am. And just going to show off other projects and things that are in the pipeline. You know, kind of give you guys a heads up and just show you what we're doing. I've got some stuff that came in from Eheim, which, you know, thanks to them, they're donating some stuff for that build that you saw that I just talked about. I kind of put in a request of some things I want to test out and try. And so, you know, this is an expensive air pump. And I said, yes, I'm going to run air no matter what I run on that tank. And I said, I would love to do a review and decibel tests and things like that on this Eheim air pump, because if they make it like, you know, other stuff they make is really high quality. And so, you know, they're claiming here, let me just set this down here. They're claiming that it's ultra quiet. Now, I find that air pumps are always quoting that kind of stuff, so I'm interested to test it. I like they've kind of got some dials on here and it comes to warranty and stuff like that, but, you know, I'm going to do a video on this and give my honest thoughts. And, you know, Eheim also, you know, gave me a fish feeder. So, you know, once you tell them you're building a custom tank with a port designed for one of their products, you know, they're a little flattered and things, and so, yeah, they're nice enough to donate one. In theory, you know, I'm not saying it's happened yet, but in theory, they're sending me the classic Eheim XL 1500, which, if you don't know what that is, that's like the biggest filter Eheim makes. Like, it's an expensive filter. I've never gotten to use one. I've always gone with FX5/FX6 due to cost, but I've always been super intrigued at the way it's made and the fact that the pump's on the outside and it's huge. So I'm hoping to run that on there. My local wholesaler doesn't even carry it in stock, which they're a giant wholesaler, don't get me wrong. But they don't even carry it in stock because it's just a beast. And I've never sold one in the hobby. I've never used one. I've never even seen one. I've never touched one in person. I've got a couple customers that have them. They say they love them. And so, yeah, they're sending me out one of those to kind of do a unboxing / set it up on my tank. Hopefully it's just amazing. So all those things are in the works. You know, I guess I would say YouTube, you know, YouTube is starting to pay off, so to speak. I'm getting some stuff to play with, but you guys get to play with it too. You know, if it's bad, I'm going to tell you it's bad. And that's, most companies, they're like, oh, well, we'll send you this, but we only want a positive review. And I go, well, I don't do that. So if it sucks, you know, just like my, you know, over here, this brine shrimp hatchery that I don't enjoy that much, you know, I said this thing sucks on YouTube, you know. And so what happened was, someone that does it better goes, well, what if we were to send you one out and play with it, you know, and let us know what you think, and, you know, put it on the video. And I got a weird glare going here, I'm not enjoying that. Alright, put it on the video and stuff like that. So NTO tanks, I think is what it is. I gotta look it up, you know, it's not an official video or anything, but they sent me out this, which is a 7-gallon thing. It's not directly made for brine shrimp, but man, is it gonna be awesome and sweet. Let me show it to you. So I want to say this whole getup runs about $150, which is, you know, about $50 more than the one over there that I don't like. But I love this stand already. This is like a solid steel stand. This, I gotta back up, it's so big. This is a 7-gallon reservoir. And so 7 gallons here, over here, this one was like 4 liters. So, you know, it's like a gallon of water. I get 7 times as much over here. So I'm excited about that. I'm interested to try out and see how it's going to, well, one, I know I can hatch a lot of brine shrimp out in there. Let me get this thing off the desk, if you will, so I can actually show you some things about it. Now, because it's not designed to do my brine shrimp, there we go, I can get it on the floor. Oh, this thing's heavy and awesome. Because it's not designed to necessarily do brine shrimp, I gotta do a little bit of modification to it, but it does come with this cool top, which, you know, I don't think we're gonna use for brine shrimp. Like, I'll probably get rid of that. But it is made correctly, and it's got the cone shape and all that. And normally it's just got a plug on the bottom, because depending on what commercial application you're going to use. But what we're going to do is we're going to put, you know, they sent this too, which is awesome. You basically put a ball valve on there, and then I'm going to reduce it down a bit, so that out the bottom of it, you know, right down there, I can let my brine shrimp out. And that is all PVC, is super sturdy. Whereas like my old one, it failed on me once. I literally had to repair it. So this is a $100 one that failed like within the first year of using it. It was leaking. And it's got a ball valve, you know, here, but it just wasn't. It wasn't reliable, and so I'm really hoping this one here will be much more reliable. That's the hope. You know, it's industrial, and yeah, it was only like $50 more, and yeah, I'm sure there's shipping on there and stuff like that. But I'm excited because what I want to hopefully have happen is with 7 gallons of water. Let's say I was working with 1 gallon. With 7 gallons of water, what if I could hatch 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row? Like, I don't even have to change the water. I just fill, let's say it's 6 gallons of water in there. It's got the salt and everything like that. And you put in a scoop of brine shrimp eggs. You hatch it out. You know, you have it come out the bottom. You turn the valve back off. You put in another scoop and go the next day. Like, I wonder how many days before the hatch fouls, that type of thing. So I'm excited to see that. And where I think I'm going to install it, let's walk over here. My lights, so I got an early start today. Today's like, I want to say it's like 10:30 in the morning or 10 in the morning, so my lights aren't even on the tanks out here. So it's dark in here, but I'm thinking, what if I was to install that thing like right here and then tie into the drain or something like that. And if I get really technical, I want it to flush out the water once a week or something like that. I don't know. But the other big project that I desperately want to get done today, the sump system. And I did listen, or I am listening to you guys. You guys said, why would you do it in glass? You'd have to be a moron to do it in glass. And after thinking about it for more than about 10 seconds, I agree. You're completely right. I thought, I got a 10-gallon tank. They're cheap. Why not? Just drill it, put a couple of bulkheads in it, be done. Yes, but you're right. The people that said in the comments, and I don't remember all the names off the top of my head, but they're like, you're gonna kick it, you're gonna break it. You're right. That's gonna happen. I'm gonna drop the pump, I'm gonna kick it, something's gonna happen. And so I'm gonna do a tote. I was worried about the totes because I thought, what if they bow, right? You know, like totes aren't made to hold water for long periods of time. Well, in theory, if I'm doing my job right, the sump pump will never let it hold water for long periods of time. So kind of a moot point, but you guys are right. And I always like to admit when I'm wrong and you're right. I agree. Should be a plastic tote instead of a 10-gallon tank. It just fits so nice. But I'll go find a tote that fits nice there, or not. I'll jerry rig something. Who knows? But let me show you what else. I don't think I've shown this off yet in the videos. I've actually shot in the Fishroom videos for a couple of weeks. I've been just buried with work at the store. We've been doing awesome, answering all your guys' comments, stuff like that, but I've got new racks. So this is a rack here that I bought as another fish room, you know, if I'm not lazy, and I'm going to tell you right now I am, but if I'm not lazy, I'm going to put a link, you know, let's see, right here, to the other video where I said, the first Real Fish Talk episode ever, I think it is, where I talk about buying stuff off Craigslist and buying it on the cheap. Buy someone else's failure or whatever. You're going to spend peanuts compared to what it costs new, and that's what I did. This buy, so to speak, has been about 14 months in the making. And that's a long time. I realize I played the ultra long game. When I said I throw out a number and I tell people, let me know when you're willing to take that number, that's what kind of happened here. So this is custom welded steel stands, and there's multiple of them. And the guy spent an arm and a leg to have them built. My floor obviously isn't level right here, but I'm going to have to shim that up if I keep this here. But this was made to hold a 125 on the bottom, 125 here, and 40 breeders on the top. It's super thick gauge steel. You know, this thing is awesome. And so I got this one. It's 6 foot long rack. It's a little bit longer so you can fit the tanks in there. So I got that one. So now my room is all messed up, by the way. Like, there is stuff everywhere because I keep bringing more stuff in. You know, there's all these tanks that I had to move to fit that in there. Well, I had the guy here. I was like, hey, can you help me move this really heavy stand? And he's like, yeah. So got that done. Let me show you the other racks and tanks and everything I kind of got. Turn the light on out here. So, included in the purchase, so to speak, I got this tank, this tank, this tank, this linear air piston pump. So now I've got another one. It's the smallest one I own now. And Gemco, you know, that's really the place to buy these. John is awesome. If you know, he doesn't pay me or anything like that. It's not, he doesn't give me any free stuff, nothing like that. This is just a good company. So if you need air pumps, or if you're building a fish room, do yourself a favor and you know, make yourself a friend of John at Gemco. But you can see here, it's the LPH 60. That's not the smallest one, but it's like third one up or something like that. And use with a minimum. That's what I like about these pumps, is minimum 25 high flow outlets. They're literally saying if you don't use at least 25 outlets that allow a lot of air through there, you're going to create way too much back pressure, and that means you can run a fish room off this thing basically. But so here's some racks. This looks like a jumbled up mess. Like, remember when I put that in, like, oh yeah, isn't that going to save and make my life easier? It totally would, except I bought racks and put them in front of it. That's dumb. So now I've got all this piping sitting here. But let me get back to the racks. So this rack is in two parts here, because he had to have it built that way to fit it into his fish room the way it was going to go in. This one's made to hold 10-gallon tanks on the bottom and 20-gallon tanks on the top, I believe. I don't know. I don't even know. It was, you know. And then I've got another one of the racks, like the one I showed you at the beginning there, that this one holds 125s and 6 or 40 breeders, that type of thing. And then I got all of these tanks. And not all of these. That one, I believe, that 40 breeder there, these 10s, those 20s, that type of thing. So, you know. So let me tell the story. The story is, he had 2 kids, you know, and he does not have enough time, working a lot, can't take care of the fish room like he wants to, he's got crazy rare stuff, and so he decides he's breaking it down. Well, he starts selling off the tanks and the stands, stuff like that, and he needs lots of money. These stands are really expensive. If you haven't had stands built, you're going to be, there's a reason I use cinder blocks, because each one of these stands easily is $800, $1,000 more when you're having something custom built like that. And so I'm watching him sell the tanks. People are giving him decent money for the tanks. He bought brand new tanks, that type of thing. And you know, I just go, oh man, it's really going to be hard to sell those stands at that price. I know, I just know it is. And so I just held back. He posted them a couple times, sold most of the equipment off, and then he was down to these stands, these mishmash tanks, and that air pump. And you know, so it basically worked out that I gave him $630 for all that I just mentioned there, delivered to my house. Because I didn't have a truck. I've got that van, which I love that van, but that van, it's impossible to fit these stands in there. They just don't fit. And I looked into renting a U-Haul. He was like 100 miles away or something, and so like that, it's in itself was like $200 by the time I rent a U-Haul, pay for the gas, and drive down there and back. It was like $200, so it was cheaper for me to pay his gas. I basically told him, I was like, look, I can't spend like $630 and $200 on top of that for stuff that I don't need. Like, I can just build cinder block stands. Like, don't get me wrong, I like these stands, but I don't need any of this. And he said, well, if you pay for the gas, I'll drive it up. Awesome, got it done. So, you know, if you take the ultra long approach to buying used stuff, you can get some bargains, you know, but be picky, like I say in that video, and only get what you actually need and want, not just anything. And, you know, there's some things that I don't need in here. Like that air pump I don't need, but I do need. Like, I know I'm going to expand more than this air pump can take, and now I've got a linear air piston pump at a much cheaper price. So, you know, it makes some sense to invest. And, you know, unfortunately, I've spent a lot of money, you know, buying that custom tank. That was, you know, that's my own personal thing for the house. This stuff is all business related. You know, I know it looks like I'm just buying stuff all the time, and I kind of am. That's kind of what you get to do when your passion and your hobby is also your business, but at the same time, insane amounts of work. And that's what I don't show in the videos, is like, oh, I didn't show you, I worked 16 hours yesterday. You know, like, it's lots of work people that do this kind of stuff. So, you know, don't get discouraged. I was a hobbyist for a very long time, and I would wait for these deals, and I had to be saving my pennies to just to pounce on something like this when the time came to buy this kind of stuff. So, you know, it's a slow and steady race to build an amazing fish room. It's not a race, so slow and steady. But, so here's the top for that canopy I was talking about. It's all hand-carved rosewood from Vietnam. But these are those portholes with the missing kind of top parts to it, and I need that top to be able to come out of there somehow. So I think it's time for me to actually get some work done. This has already been like the longest intro ever, which some people are going sweet, some people are going, oh god, you're boring, get off the internet. I realize that. Some people say, we want shorter videos, and to that I say, go watch someone that makes shorter videos. You know, there are people that say, oh, that video would have been 10 times better if it was in 5 minutes instead of 25 minutes. Well, my answer to that, to anyone that, you know, has that mentality with my videos, literally, then go make the video in 5 minutes and do it yourself. Like, literally. It takes more time to edit stuff down. I have to do a worse job explaining it, and then I spend more time in comments when people go, well, how do you do that part? Oh, well, I actually filmed that part, but I cut it out because someone wants it to be shorter. And unfortunately, the attention span of, I don't know, our generation, the next generation, all that kind of stuff, it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Don't get me wrong, I'm a tech guy. I read a lot about YouTube. I know that a 5-minute video is too long. I should really be making 3-minute videos. The attention span is so small, but everyone's doing that. Everyone is going, oh, well, YouTube says make a 3-minute video to be the most successful. And so now there's 1 million YouTube videos about fish that only last 3 minutes. I'm the guy that doesn't do that. I'm the oddball. I'm not doing it to become the YouTube sensational star, to make everyone happy. If you can't sit through 20 minutes on how to do something that's kind of technical that will save you a ton of money, then maybe you're just not that interested in doing it. Like, I'm trying to show you how to actually do something and how I do it, how to do it right, what I've learned, and how to save you money, not, ooh, let's see, can I crank out a review video on the Eheim air pump in under 3 minutes? That would make me the most money. Instead, I'll probably rant about why it's awesome or bad. I'll compare it to other air pumps. I'll be doing dB tests where I pull out my phone and I go, well, this is how many decibels it is. Is that too loud for you? I don't know. It's not too loud for me. That kind of stuff. So that's just my little mid-rant on a fish room thing, fish room day. If you don't like what I'm doing, or you want me to do it faster, either watch the video and fast forward and skip ahead like a normal person does, or B, go watch someone else's video. And most times when I say stuff like that, they go, well, no one else made that video. And it's like, oh, guess what? Because you can't do it in 3 minutes. That's why. You know? So that's my answer to that. I make long videos. If you like it, you love this channel. If you hate it, go watch someone else. They'll make quicker videos and give you less info. And I'm never going to be, what is it, like, I can't remember the guy's first name, like DeFranco or whatever, where it's like literally they cut out every breath. So it's like I say this sentence, I take a breath in, they cut out the breath and just keep going. And so rapid fire, it's almost hard to take info in. That will never be me. I'm getting to work. You're going to want to come along for the ride. Hopefully I get something done today instead of just ranting, but I'll tune in when I've found the right toad or something. That's my goal, is to fix that today. So we'll talk to you later. So after sitting in the plumbing aisle, wandering the entire store at Ace Hardware, being asked if I need help about 1 billion times, even though they've asked me 4 times, them personally, I think I've come up with a way I'm going to do this drain. So let me show you what I got so far. So, some of the pitfalls that I think I need to address. I want a container. Well, at first I wanted more gallons, right? But then I realized, whether it's 10 gallons, 20 gallons, 30 gallons, something like that, if I am not draining water correctly, if I can hold 30 gallons, let's say, and I change 300 gallons worth of water, that's irrelevant. That means I got 270 gallons of water on my floor. So that's redundant. That's not redundant, stupid. So then I thought, well, now I just need something that can handle the footprint of what I want it to do. And I'm thinking this trash can. The reason I chose a trash can, it's tall, so I get to set the levels I want. I think that's going to work out nice. and then it's got flat sides to put bulkheads in. Alright, so here's what I came up with. I think I'm going to use a shower drain. I've used these for koi ponds. Basically, it's kind of like a supersized bulkhead. It's a 2-inch drain. And if I put that, you know, coming out of this side, let's say, and then got this coupling here, and this screws into here, which I know what you're saying right now. You're like, why would you have a 2-inch drain and reduce it down to 1.5 inches? Well, my plumbing underneath the sink is 1.5 inches, so kind of have to do that. And then they didn't make this shower drain in 1.5 inches, so that's why I have to do that. So adapter 2. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a flexible elbow. And so that's, I can take it apart if I ever need to or something like that, service it, and basically it'll come out, you know, of the trash can, something like that. And I gotta play with where this gets put. It could be there, it could be there. I'm not sure yet. I gotta do a bunch of measuring and stuff like that. But what has to happen basically is that, so let me move some stuff out of here. So this float down here that rises, when that hits the top, it'll kick on. So that means I want my drain to be higher than that somewhere. Let's just say it's there for right now. Obviously the drain's going out that way, but so that way this pump will do its job and pump it all in my garden and do its thing and be awesome. And then if this pump fails, or I unplug it because it's winter and I don't want to make, you know, a frozen yard, then the water will bypass through to there. That's the whole goal and thinking on this project. So, you know, first, all I'm trying to get done today, you know, have to get done, is that it can drain through this. Because I still have to run from there outside somehow. And that could be a hose, it could be PVC, it could be, I don't even know yet. But today, the goal is to get it to do this at least, I'm hoping. And I hope I can do the other piece too, that would be amazing. But, you know, and then I've got other things too, like I'm gonna have to cut holes in this to let pipes come into it. I haven't figured all of that out yet. So that's also part of the problem, and it's like 1 o'clock now, so I just need to get on it. So I'm going to start working on it, and I'll tune in when I've figured it out. Well, the new sump, so to speak, is in. Don't have the sump pump in yet, but let me show you what I got done so far. Went in, you know, knock on wood, easy, so we'll see. Right here so far. Interesting, there's a shrimp in there already. You can see it. But I did a big water change really quick to see. But it seems to be working just fine. So now I just gotta get the sump pump installed in there. There's water on the floor obviously, because when you start cutting pipes, water starts moving and that's never fun. But anyway, seems to be working. Now I gotta shoot some more videos, and I kind of want to get that sump pump going, but I just don't know how to do it yet. So, well, not something I don't know how to do it. I don't know how I want to run it yet. So maybe I'll get to that, maybe I won't. But I will chime in with other stuff I get done today. So it's only like 2 o'clock or something. So I'm still working. So here's me testing the sump system. Got a check valve right here, and so as soon as it turns on, it's almost there. It's going to flush this system for us. And there it goes. And drains it that quick. I mean, that was pretty quick. It's over 3,000 gallons per hour, and so, yeah. And that's with the sink running and my drain system running at the moment. So I'm going to actually, I'm actually going to go show you guys what it looks like outside as well. I'm going to turn the water up a bit, and we'll take a trip out there. While we're going out there, there's, you know, been working on this all day. Started working on the brine shrimp hatchery too. I think I got most of that figured out. I gotta, you know, I have everything but salt apparently. Apparently I used all salt when I was treating some discus, and but I put in this 1.5 inch elbow, reducing down to 3/4, so I can open up, harvest brine shrimp, harvesting, boom, close it off, that type of thing. So I'm excited to start playing with that out here in my yard. We'll see how this goes. I've actually never witnessed it out here yet. Like, this isn't final. Obviously, here's like, this is temporary. It comes out of my wall there, and eventually it'll probably go underground all the way over to where like that garden hose fire hydrant is, and work in a system to do my garden. But I want to see how fast 3,000 gallons per hour is here. It sounds like it's going. Here it comes. Yeah, that's a pretty good, you know, run of water, I guess. It's just yeah, I'm happy with that. That does its job. So I'm gonna go and turn the water off inside, because no reason to waste water besides testing the system there. So I'm gonna do that, and then I don't know if I'm working on anything else yet, but that's what I got for now. So I'll talk to you in a bit. Well, I think that's all I've got today. I'm gonna leave it with I don't know, cool tank, I think. Anyway, let me show you. This is my super red bristlenose and orange cherry shrimp tank, and yeah, they're sitting on some algae wafers, and Dad's actually sitting on another batch of eggs in there, and the shrimp are kind of exploding in population here as well, because if you didn't know, bristlenose don't really eat any of the shrimp, so kind of a nice symbiotic relationship. Yeah, there's lots of shrimp babies. Not so many on this. I probably need to move these guys to a 40-gallon breeder. You know, but what can you do? You know, only so much time in the day when they're producing, and you know, I need to net some of this stuff out and put it in some other tanks. In here I've got too much algae going on. Lots of Java moss, but the red Delta guppies breeding in here. No action for my Claroplecas yet, which that's kind of sad, but you know, I figure it's only a matter of time. And I've got multiple males hanging out in caves and everything, so you know, what can you do? Let's see, anything else super cool? I'm enjoying these guys. They're just super shy. These are the pygmy platy. So I'm going to zoom in a little more there. And you can see the male's the one with the color. Oh, geez, I'm losing it. But there's the male and there's the female, and I just enjoy those guys. You know, they're not really going to sell at the store because I don't think many other people enjoy them, but you know, it is what it is. And here we've got blue Silverado endlers with not very clean glass, but they're pushing forward. Got lots of babies up here in my guppy tank that I'm super excited about, old big ears, so there's lots of babies going on there now. These are just the blue platies that I brought in. Hopefully they'll grow out and be nice and blue with black. What else? These guppies I've been working on for a while. The tank looks terrible. I apologize for that, but some of these guppies are, in my opinion, really nice. You know, I just think that's a nice looking guppy right there. And so yeah, just some more stuff I'm playing with. You know, if you're on the guppies, you're not impressed, but I've got some mollies and some fry growing out down here from the Solosi. Yeah, that's really all I got going on. I need to get more active out here, but I just don't have the time, and yeah, so if you like what we're doing, whoa, we're too zoomed in, look out. If you like what we're doing, go ahead and like, subscribe, do all those things. I'll show you more stuff I do. You know, I'm pretty much doing this every day. If I'm not at the store, I'm in my fish room, playing around, making stuff, doing stuff, and talking to myself, you know, so now I'm recording it. But I'll make a video once I get that other brine shrimp hatchery going, how to, where to order it from, all that kind of stuff. I'll probably put a link down below to where you can order that from in case you're like, you know, like I know, like that's going to be amazing already. So
Yeah, till next time, we'll see you later. Tune in on Sunday.